Hi there and welcome to Tactical Magfed. In this video I'm going to be showing you this. The Dynamic Sports Gear T15 powertube with an autococker thread, with an AC thread. Check it out. Okay, so in front of me I have my long-awaited Dynamic Sports Gear T15 powertube. My videos are notoriously long, especially when I do unboxings, reviews and installs all in one video. So what I'm going to do with this product is I'm going to quickly show you it, get it out of the box. There's not much to show you. I'll get it out of the box, do a run through, compare it with the original tube in the T15, and then I'll close out with some comments. I'll have a follow-up video which will be the install, so hopefully it will bring the length of my videos down, because I know they can be pretty long. Anyway, so let's get down to it. I'll get this out of the box because it will rattle around in here. I'll get it out of the box first, and then I'll give you a bit of an overview of what it is and what it can do and everything like that. So as you can see, it's a bit battered in this casing. There's a bit of a story behind that, which I'll tell you in a minute. But yeah, I think this thing's been around the houses. It might have been from Germany to UK back to Germany. So there's a bit of a story about that. I'll leave the box here because we've got some text on it. There's no instructions or anything that comes in it. There may be something online. I haven't checked out on Facebook or anything like that, whether they've got an install video, but it's not that tricky to install from what I can tell. So Dynamic Sports Gear are part of a German company. I think it's something like Paintball Sports or something like that. They have different domain names like .co.uk and .de and all the rest of it. Essentially, they're based in Germany, and they have either a sister company or part of their company that make parts for paintball markers. I don't think they generally make them for T15. This is one of the first products I've seen them make for T15. Could be wrong. They might make other stuff. But essentially, what this does, it replaces the power tube in your T15, and as you can see on here, there's space for your detents, and there is your First Strike shaped hole in there. So you're thinking to yourself, well, hold on a minute, the T15 barrel has the detents and all this gubbins on it. Therein lies one of the main reasons you would probably buy one of these. So before I give you a run through in more detail about what this tube does and what the purpose of it is, I'm going to give you the spiel off the back of the box here. So Dynamic Sports Gear Power Tube brings your First Strike T15 to the next level. Installing the power tube improves performance, efficiency, durability. Also allows you to use either Tippmann A5 or cocker barrel threads on your T15 marker without an additional adapter. They state it can give up to a 20% more air efficiency, more constant FPS, AC A5 barrels usable without an adapter. The recock screw on here you can almost set down to 0 because of the efficiency gains, the savings on here. 3 internal parts become 1, made from high grade 6061 aluminium, a gold finished hard anodized surface. So bold claims. I don't know if or how I can kind of justify any of those claims in testing or whatever. It's probably going to be more feel when I play with it. Hopefully I've got an event coming up, so I'm going to get this installed on my marker for that event and give it a run for its money and see what it does on the day. Okay, so let's just go over these. I alluded to this product's taken quite a while to get to market. I believe that there's been a couple of issues with this. So the European, worldwide pandemic hit with COVID, and the factories that producing these got hit because the factory had to shut down and they lost production. So there was a delay there. When these did get up and running and get shipped out to the distributors, they found that this was such a high, such a precision product that it was actually the specification of this was tighter quality control than the First Strike quality control across all their generations. So you can probably see all that this is all anodized, completely anodized, apart from this one hole here, which you can see has the grey tinge of the aluminium. Not sure if you will be able to see that, but you can see it's been bored out. So they had an issue on here, whereby on certain generations or different batches of all or few or some of the generations, I don't know the exact details, that hole was too small by sort of a fraction of a millimetre, some bizarre spec. So the original ones that got sent out, people were given instructions on how to do this themselves. Any that hadn't been distributed or sent out, I think, got returned to the factory. They rebored that hole and then sent them back out. So that was another delay. So been waiting for this for quite some time. There is quite a steep price tag for this part, considering kind of what it is, which I'll go over in the summary as to my thoughts on the price. Anyway, so all that said and done, the thing is finally in my hands. It's finally out there for purchase for all you guys. And the first thing you'll notice, you've got the detents here, and you've got your feed for your paintballs. That from there on is effectively part of the existing T15 barrel. So if I get a T15 barrel out, I can show you here. So when you put your T15 barrel in, it comes up to there on the existing power tube. So when you swap this part out, you'll no longer be able to use any of your First Strike made barrels with this locking system. You'll have to use whichever variant or flavour of this you buy. I've personally got the AC thread on here. The only reason I've got the AC thread is because I don't intend on buying an A5 threaded barrel for anything. If I do end up getting another marker, it will most likely be something like the EMF 100, which takes autococker threads. So any barrels I get, I can interchange between this and that. So that's my logic. I've gone for the AC thread. So when you fit this, you've got to take the detents out of a barrel or get new detents, put them in here, and you fit it in. That does alter some of the functionality, if you like, of your T15 marker. To change your detents, you have to take this out and change them. It's not just a case of taking your barrel out and changing it. When you clean your barrel, I have a short video of how I can turn the barrel and flip up the dust cover, and then you can pull the squeegee through the hole in the top of your receiver through the barrel, and it's quite a good way of cleaning your marker. You won't be able to do that anymore, so it's going to be more like a standard paintball marker. When you're cleaning your barrel, you need your barrel made, okay? But the best thing, or some of the best features that this is going to bring. So those of you out there that have floating handguards, and you get the dreaded wobble, you crank that little detent screw up on the, that's not a detent, it's like a little spring-loaded ball bearing in there, and you tighten this little screw up and it stops the wobble, but it will always be there unless you fit like the floating barrel adapter, the barrel nut with the First Strike make it. It's I can't remember the exact name. It's like a little adapter that goes onto your marker with a barrel nut, and there's a little adjustment that grips onto the barrel. But of course, you can't take your barrels in and out with that on. That kind of locks the barrel on. So you might have to take the handguard off to take the barrel off, which is a bit of a faff, if you like, for me. So if it's an antidote to the barrel wobble. when I've been looking at barrels for the T15, and whenever I do look at the barrels for the T15, you invariably end up having to look at a very expensive purpose-made T15 style barrel, or buying an adapter to put something else on. So I was looking at an adapter to put an A5 thread, or an adapter to put an AC thread, or Spider, or whatever barrel you can find in the flavour that you want it in these times. They've been tricky to get hold of. So it's nice having that feature in here. The claims that they make about the efficiency and the constant FPS sense, as you can imagine, if you've got the tube where all your moving parts are in there for your bolt, so there's the bolts moving backwards and forwards, all these little chambers here are for your the air to come through to fire the round, to push, to recock the bolt back, and everything like that. So if you've got two pieces of metal joined like that, there's no O-ring or anything like that. As that bolt is moving, there must be an element of pressure or air lost in there, because there's not really a seal, I'm assuming. You've also got a slight difference here. I'll get the T15 down and I'll show you the upper receiver with this in. I won't take it out, I'm not doing an install, that will be the follow-up video, but I will show you some of the differences here. For the most part, all these other bits are the same. The hook there for the end cap, the trigger sear part there is exactly the same. These holes are all in the same locations, and this is the same as well. It might even be slightly higher raised up. It does look a fraction higher there for the mag release, so we'll check that out. And all this stuff is the same. Okay, so I'll quickly get the T15 down and I'll strip it and get the upper receiver off it, and we'll show you what it looks like. Okay, so here I have the upper receiver of my T15 that I've taken off, and hopefully we'll be able to see in here enough of this so you can get a rough idea of the differences. So as you can tell, that would be a line up to where they are now, and the only sort of perceivable difference is this little groove here, which would come up here, and I can only imagine that must have something to do with part of the recock scenario or in some way, shape or form helping that efficiency. So there is a difference there. These holes look very similar now in size, so hopefully I'm not going to have any issues there. And again, the sear and everything there. So and that would be where your barrel would come in to about there. So you can see it's quite a bit different, and I'm hoping it lives up to some of the claims that it has there. When you do fit this, you're supposed to take the recock screw down like a couple of quarter turns. So for the first game I might just leave it as it is because I know it works, and then turn it down until it kind of fails, and then turn it back up again and just fine tune it. But I might not have time to do that for the weekend. So anyway, there we go. Final thoughts on this. So I think so this is £136 sterling UK, not cheap. And if you've gone out and bought yourself a new T15 and then go and buy this to put on it, that starts to become an expensive upgrade. If you've got an older T15 or if you break your T15, so this little hook on the back here is notorious. If you don't decock your gun when you separate the upper and lower receivers, and you've got a lot of tension in there, especially on the full auto kits because it's a stronger spring, people have snapped these off. Never had that issue myself, but if you damage your existing one and you're looking for a replacement and you own a bunch of either A5 or auto cocker barrels, this could be something you might want to look at for that. So I like I said before, I'm looking, if I get another marker, it'll be something that have an AC thread barrel. I am interested to know if this would work with the Planet Eclipse Quake barrel on here. So stay tuned for that. I might have an update on that if the Quake barrel works with this. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it makes sense for this system to be this way. Does give you more scope with the barrel on there, but without having to have a barrel adapter. So what you end up doing is you don't have the detent that's on here. You take that out. Not your detent, the spring-fed ball bearing that holds this system in. So there's a ball bearing that this runs along, which causes that barrel wobble if it's not tight enough. You get rid of your barrel wobble. You should get more efficiency gains on your marker, and I'm hoping to see a more stable FPS when I'm chronoing at events and stuff. It's going to be more stable. There's a German channel, where the guy does just a couple of mags through it, and it does stay very tight on the FPS, sort of 4-6 FPS, I think it sort of stays in. So that'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Anyway, I know this video is getting on a little bit, and I did say I was going to keep it short. Sorry guys. So let me know in the comments below what you think of this. If I can find it anywhere apart from Germany and the UK, I'll put some links down in the description. So and I'll do a follow-up video once I've used it at an event, just to let you know how I get on with it, if I like it or not, and if I think it's worth the value for money. It is quite a pricey upgrade, but if it does what it claims and it makes improvements to this marker, it can only be a good thing. So I'll get back to you on that one. Okay, so thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.